Hello and welcome to the recorded report of assignment 1. I will walk through my report. So cryptography is not only a thing that protects your data from theft, but it can also be used for user authentication. It is algorithms that can be used for protection and for authentication, and it is crucial in our world today since it provides security for everything that is online. And for this report, I am comparing two different cryptographic methods for hashing algorithms: symmetric encryption and asymmetric encryption. And as it was mentioned in one of our lectures, we should always protect our online systems with as much resources as we can afford, and the way to juice up the defense is to layer them and pick the right to layer different algorithms and pick the right cryptographic method for the situation that we are in. So for the data collection of this report, I used a variety of sources, starting with academic sources. I heavily relied on our textbook, and a few other online research papers. For technical documentation, I utilized the different Python libraries and online resources. And for practical experimentation, I utilized Python on my computer to run the tests on the practical tests that compares the cryptographic methods. Alright, so on to data analysis. I collected data from all the academic sources that talked about the pros and cons of each of the cryptographic methods, and I also applied it to my own testing using Python. So let me just walk through my own testing first. For the hashing performance, I picked MD5 and SHA-256 because in the textbook it really clearly clashed these two together. And so this was the algorithm that I ran in Python. Let me open up Python. This was the algorithm that I ran, and it just tests the difference between the hashing time for MD5 and SHA-256, and it outputs these results. And we could see that with larger data sets, SHA-256 outperforms MD5 significantly, and I reflected this in my report. For symmetric encryption, I compared AES-256 and CHA-20. This was the algorithm this was the code that I used. And writing these codes, I used the Python documentations and also with the help of AI. And here we go. This is the output for the comparison in symmetric encryption. We could see that there's only a slight difference between AES and SHA-120, and the difference is in the use cases for each of them, and I found the pros and cons for each in a few academic resources that I found online, and I reflected that on my written report. And for asymmetric encryption, I compared RSA with ECC. This was the code that I used. Here. We can see the output here. The time difference is quite significant, although there was one caveat that we should note, which is that they were tested based upon different tasks. So the RSA was tasked on decrypting a message, on like decrypting the performance in decryption, and ECC was tested on signature verification. And so I noted that in my report. That's something that I could have probably done better. I could have picked another algorithm that was more comparable to RSA. And yeah, those were my results. Thank you very much.